And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Sklansky.
I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this week, we are going to rob the Quickie Mart.
I don't want to rob the Quickie Mart.
Screw a poo and his holidays and expensive medicine and all that other stuff. Let's just go rob the Quickie Mart.
But I don't want to rob the Quickie Mart.
Okay, fine.
Why are we robbing the Quickie Mart?
Fine, let's not rob the Quickie Mart. Let's just buy a bunch of stuff and forget to pay for one of the things. And then go to jail.
I don't want to go to jail.
God, you just don't want to do anything fun.
Wait, going to jail is fun?
I don't know, Marge made it seem semi-fun, I think.
I think we have a lot to discuss on today's episode.
We do. So this week, we're going to talk about Season 4, Episode 21, Marge in Chains.
And I don't know, I don't know how I feel about this, but the title of the episode could be a possible reference to the band Alice in Chains.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's, sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
But she never really got chained up. I don't think.
No.
Like when you know how like when, the hardcore criminals go to prison, how they have like the arm chains and the leg chains and they're all chained together? They kind of missed out on that gag for this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have matched the title of the episode really well. Low level crime, hardcore punishment. It could have been a little better, but it is what it is. And this episode aired May 6th, 1993. It's almost time for summer vacation, boys.
Yep.
It is. It's almost time for summer vacation. We got one more episode left, and then summer vacation for the rest of you, and we'll come back the following week with another episode.
Yes.
So a recap. Marge shoplifts and is sent to a women's prison, leaving the family to fend for themselves. And it only took 10 minutes to go completely horribly wrong.
Yes. Yes, it did. So if when we were left home as kids by our parents, we didn't destroy the entire house.
No, we just played games. Yeah.
Played computer games, video games, watched TV, went outside, and Homer, Lisa, and Bart managed to destroy the house.
I am very surprised at Lisa, though.
Yes.
I feel like Lisa, well, no, I guess Lisa did want to say, if we work together.
Clearly they didn't work together.
Nope. Chalkboard this week. I do not have diplomatic immunity.
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Diplomatic immunity.
So, did Bart harass, a foreign exchange kid? And then it was like, but I live in the United States, so I can't get in trouble.
Yeah, right. So he lives in the United States. The school is its own country, right? He was visiting the school as his own country, so he could do any crimes he wanted and get away with it.
Yeah.
I wonder if what movie was that? That was not Lethal Weapon. Was that Lethal Weapon? It was Lethal Weapon. The whole diplomatic immunity thing.
Is that with Die Hard? Are you thinking of Nakatomi Plaza and Alan Rickman and Bruce Willis?
No,
I don't know any movies where diplomatic immunity is involved. I'm sure I've seen plenty, but my brain and just...
It is. Lethal Weapon 2. That's where it came from. I knew it was a Lethal Weapon movie. Yeah, it says, which lethal weapon has diplomatic immunity? Yep, diplomatic immunity to Roger Murtaugh, which turned out to be his last words. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. So, Bart probably saw Lethal Weapon 2 and was like, hold on, let me see when this came out. Lethal Weapon.
By the way, I've only seen Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. I've never really seen any of the sequels.
Okay, Lethal Weapon 2 came out in 1989. So, possible Bart got to see Lethal Weapon 2 and was like, dude, I'm totally using this at school.
Maybe.
Nice. I like it. Go Bart, watching some R-rated flicks with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Yep.
All right. Couch gag this week. Tiny Simpsons couch gag. where all the tiny Simpsons run up to the couch and, get up on there. And that's another repeat. Homer's triple bypass.
Yeah.
So
they got lazy at the back half of this season.
I know I think that was because, remember, Mike Reese is like, we did repeats of the entire front half of the season. And to be fair, it was 22 episodes long for season 4. So, so 11, I bet you it was 11 new couch gags and 11 repeats if we went back and counted them all.
Possibly. So we get to start this episode off with the always famous, always well-produced, I can't believe they invented it.
Yeah, I love these episodes. It just reminds me of growing up watching these dumbass infomercials on TV. And I was definitely a homer. I gotta buy it. I gotta get it.
So probably the most famous or infamous of infomercials nowadays, I believe, would be the Flex Seal.
Yeah, Flex Seal's definitely gotta be the most popular one.
I think the one that was most famous when we were growing up, or that I remember, was the ShamWow guy.
ShamWow, yep.
Because I guess Billy Mays did the OxyClean.
OxyClean, yep.
Yeah, so...
and the Chipotle.
No, that's South Park.
Right, but it was Billy Mays.
That is true, it was Billy Mays. So on this episode of I Can't Believe They Invented It, we get the SS microwave, which is like a microwave on like motorized boat thing for your pool, which
not safe.
Honestly, but if it was battery operated,
microwaves cannot be battery operated. Well, so that I don't know. So nuclear carbon rod was inside of it to heat up your burrito.
I mean, I think you can make it work if you have like an extension cord. You just make sure all of that's in plastic. It'll be fine.
Not safe. Yes, not safe.
So we get the doggy doorman. So it's a doorman for the doggy door for your dog.
That's pretty cute. Come on.
Yeah. Hello, Rex. And then we have a chandelier for your car. And as demonstrated on the television show, not very safe. Not very safe.
No. And so we get Troy McClure. Hello, everybody. I'm Troy McClure, star of such films as P is for Psycho and The President's Neck is Missing. But now I'm here to tell you about a remarkable new invention.
Which is invented by Dr. Nick Riviera.
Okay, did you notice how long Troy McClure's mic cord was?
It makes sense in the early 90s.
It went he went down an entire flight of stairs and onto a stage. You couldn't tell me they didn't have wireless mics in the early 90s?
I mean, they probably, I don't know when wireless mics were created. I mean, it's possible.
Or having a second microphone on stage. Like, he introduces himself up top, which is fine. Yeah. And then walks down the steps using, like, a boom microphone.
I mean...
And then he gets onto stage and has a secondary microphone.
It's probably easier just to have the one.
Maybe. All right.
Yeah. So Troy tells everybody, have you ever wanted orange juice? And this is the only way to get your orange juice. And he takes the orange, presses it against his head, like in his eye, which would hurt, and squeezes the orange juice. And I'm like, dude, just use your hands. I get the joke. And so then we cut to Homer doing it. And he's like, wait, there's a better way. And so we get Dr. Nick Riviera's juice loosener. And the first, I wanted to look this up. So the first electronic juicer was invented in 1954.
All right.
So this invention is not new.
No, not at all.
No.
Well, actually, it's funny. When you look at a lot of infomercials, none of those inventions are, I would say, new. But like, okay, so the one I really think about is the, the nonstick frying pan that supposedly, like, you could, like, swish around eggs and, like, literally nothing sticks in it. Well, Teflon and nonstick pans have been around forever.
Yes. So the juicer's been around at this point for almost 40 years.
Oh, but this juicer's amazing. Would you like to tell me more?
Yes. Here, you can take a whole bag of oranges and put it in. Listen to that baby purr. And it's loud as hell. It's like a whisper.
Yeah, and all the orange junk is like flying out of it.
Yeah, because and when they turn it off, you get a single drop of orange juice. Now, but I love how he puts like 8 oranges in there, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure not all those oranges would fit.
No,
And
probably
so,
not.
But like
And-
this thing is loud and obnoxious, and
Well, also, I don't think any juicer you physically put the orange in. Isn't it where you cut the orange in half, you put it on top, you shut the thing, and then it like rotates and actually
there is
like,
that. Dr. Nick's like, oh, I also invented the sunscreen called
Sun and Run.
Sun and Run. It's also a laxative. And we see Troy McClure putting it on, and then after Dr. Nick says what it is, he like runs off stage because guess whose nature is calling.
Yep, because it was absorbed into his skin and into his blood system, and he has to go now.
So Homer, grabs his phone, orders a juicer. He's like, I gotta order this so I can lose weight and not have chest pains when answering the phone. Well, we know he's had heart issues in the past.
Yep.
So, I guess Homer wants to live healthier. And now we cut to Osaka, Japan, where the juicer is made and boxed and shipped. And we see Homer's juicer getting packaged. And the address on it is 742 Evergreen Terrace, Springfield, USA.
Yep, so they're living at 742 Evergreen Terrace now.
Yep, yeah, they are.
Their house moved.
Yep, and so if you also notice when the Japanese workers are talking, their lip sync is off.
Yeah,
which is
it's dubbed. So it was when they're speaking and laughing, their dialogue appears to be dubbed like the old like Japanese Chinese.
It's a joke off of that. It's funny. So I watched the Squid Game. I don't know if you have.
Oh yeah, I've watched it absolutely.
And I started watching it with the English, and I got like 2 minutes in, and I'm like, I can't watch.
No, everyone said it was the worst ever. You have to watch the subtitles.
I turned off the English dub, turned it, put it in the original Korean, and watched the English subtitles.
Well, yeah, you were dumb to think dubbed was going to be good.
I didn't think about it. Netflix was like, oh, here, you're going to watch it in English. I didn't choose English.
Oh, really? Mine automatically went to Korean.
Mine chose English, and I had to choose back to Korean.
Do you have you must have a setting in there that says, I hate foreign films. Please give me all the dubbed versions. There's an anime I watch with the English dub, and that is fine because it's basically a cartoon, but like, I can't watch friggin' foreign films with an English dub. Subs are better than dubs. Yes.
So anyways, so then we see the worker coughs into the Simpsons box, and you see like the germ particles go in.
Yep.
And so we might as well mention this now. A lot of people think that this is a Simpsons prediction of the coronavirus.
Yep.
But it's really not. So viruses don't survive long in that type of environment. They need a warm environment, and anytime you ship something, it's always on a plane, which are cold, and then they go into trucks, which are cold, and germs usually only last about 24 hours on a surface, and on cardboard, which obviously this is shipped in, it doesn't last as long. It doesn't even last 24 hours. So the realism of a drug traveling from one country halfway across the world to the United States is just not going to happen. It's funny, but it's not realistic. So Homer is sitting there. He's like, it's 6 to 8 weeks. I love how they say 6 to 8 weeks later. They don't say 6 weeks later. They don't say 8 weeks later. They say six.
That's because that's what Troy McClure told Homer, or told everyone. It would take 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
But they don't give a specific time frame, and I love it.
Nope.
And so it's 6 to 8 weeks later, and Homer's like, I don't think it's ever going to arrive. Ding dong, and Bart brings in his package, and Homer opens it, and the virus goes, attacks Homer, and then we cut to Skinner, who ordered one for his mother, and they get sick, and Solomon and Patty got each other the juicer. Why did they both get each other? Like, was it their birthday? Did they just? I don't get.
Did they say
What?
happy birthday or I got you a gift? They said
Yeah,
something.
they said they got each other a gift, and obviously they're twins. So maybe it was like a late birthday gift.
Yep. Yeah.
And so they each got each other a juice loosener, and they got infected. And I love how, like, Wiggum's outside buying hot dogs, and the germ, like, chases after him, and he shoots it. Is that from a movie? Is that a movie reference, or is that just a joke?
I think it's just a joke.
And so Wiggum shoots at it, and he gets infected, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this virus is just attacking everyone. It's like some sort of pandemic inside of Springfield.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say, you know, again, going back to the Simpsons prediction, a lot of people are like, oh, the Simpsons predicted all this stuff. And in a way, yes, but also pandemics do happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, yeah, they predicted it. Like, I could have predicted it. So
a pandemic was going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we get Arnie Pie in the sky. You know, obviously the helicopter, motion sickness, he's getting sick. And he tells everyone, if you're on a 42nd and something, watch out, I'm about to puke. And then he throws up on Otto trying to suntan on a roof. Most likely his apartment roof.
Yes.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, it was a nice day out.
Yeah.
Get the tan going.
It was pretty funny. It was really funny.
Yes.
And so now we head to the kitchen, and, you know, Bart's getting his temperature taken because obviously you can't send your kids to school sick.
Nope.
And so
well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Yes. And so, you know, it's Marge, you know, like takes his temperature, is like, oh, 98.6, which is the perfect temperature for your body. And Bart's like, all right, come on. And he tries to will his white blood cells, you know, that are battling the virus. White blood cell 1 says, Sarge, we keep getting orders to let the virus win. Must be a school day. Lay down your arms. And then they lay down, and the virus is like, all right, let's make some pus.
And for those of you who out there who don't know what Steve is trying to sound like, that is Snake.
Yes.
So the other thing, that's not how that works. I mean, I guess mentally you could kind of wear yourself down to the point, but if you're like just standing there like, get sick, it's not going to happen.
Kids, the correct way to raise your temperature, I'll give you 2. 1,
light bulbs.
Light bulbs? Okay, maybe a few more, but lay under your blankets, like get a quilt and just lay under it for like 10-15 minutes. Your body temperature will definitely go up.
Yep.
You know, light bulb on the forehead will help. Another one that'll help is run your like hot water over your face.
Yeah,
that's another good one, especially if your parents are the put your hand on the forehead type of parent and not using a thermometer.
Yeah.
Or eat some like hot oatmeal. Like this is actually really a really funny story. So
or you could drink hot chocolate
or anything hot. You could drink anything hot. But I was at donating plasma, and I had happened to take a drink of water out of the water fountain. And you know how it's like really cold. Yeah. So it was pretty much my turn after I did that. I went to go get my temperature taken, and I couldn't donate for like 10-15 minutes because my temperature was below the registered temperature because my mouth was so cold from drinking water.
Oh my God.
There are ways to alter your temperature for your parents, so you can skip school. Public service announcement by the Simpsons did it.
You know, it's really funny. So, you know, I was never going to have perfect attendance for school because we're Jewish and we always missed a couple school days because of holidays. But I also got sick every year I was in elementary school and almost every year I was in middle school. The only reason I think I missed a day of 8th grade is because I broke my wrist, which isn't really getting sick. But I got sick almost every year I was in school. I don't know if it was just because I wasn't vaccinated against the flu or I had contacts, but getting sick is fun when you're a kid because then you don't have to go to school.
Yep. And now with Bart staying home, he gets to sit on the couch and watch Itchy and Scratchy.
Yep.
So we get the episode Germs of Endearment,
which is a reference to the movie Terms of Endearment, which was produced by James L. Brooks.
Yep. And so Scratchy wants a tonsillectomy, which I don't know if that's the correct term for getting your tonsils removed. And the doctor...
I believe it is.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
And Dr. Itchy ties a brick to Scratchy's tongue and throws the brick out the window. And all of Scratchy's organs, come out with it. And Scratchy's like, oh, crap. And so he jumps out the window, grabs the brick. I love how it goes brick in first. And puts all of his organs back in his body as he lands on a cactus.
I love the fact that, like, after he puts it in, he's like, hey, I did it. And then he gets impaled.
Yep. And so now... let's head over to the mayor of Springfield. And it's Corruptus in Extremis.
Extremis.
Oh, Extremis. It means he's extreme corruptor.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Quimby.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, boy, the Simpsons really had a fun prediction time this episode. This episode's full of fun things. And so Quimby says he will not leave the city of Springfield. And as you pan away, he's on a beach.
Hey, get that out of their mayor's office.
Yeah, the steel drum. And so this was a huge future prediction when the Ted Cruz left Texas or was out of Texas during the massive snowstorm.
This isn't really a prediction.
Not a prediction, but it was a funny coincidence.
Because I was watching this and I'm like, oh, Ted Cruz did this when Texas's power grid went out because they had a winter storm, and then he tried to backtrack and try to make himself look good, and it's like, no, dude, you're an asshole.
Yep. And so this was going around quite a bit across the internet during the pandemic of Simpsons predicting a political official not being in town during a natural, I would say, disaster. Snow is...
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a... Wait, so you're saying snow isn't natural? Or
Texas. Texas got to get in line, man. We've been dealing with that stuff in the North Midwest forever. So they gotta get their act together and learn what snow can do to them.
Oh my god, I think this might be my favorite scene in season 4.
Oh, this was funny. So obviously Burns was telling Smithers that he created a room to protect himself. And so it's like a bunch of steel trap doors that open. And Burns finds Homer eating a sandwich in his ultra secure microbe free chamber. And Burns is like, who the devil are you? And Homer's brain's like, don't panic. Just come up with a good story. My name is Mr. Burns. So,
how did he get in there? How did he even know it was there?
I don't know.
What is Homer doing in Burns' office with a sandwich?
Having lunch? Duh. But no, it is really funny because I do this is now the second time that we see Homer do that. I am Mr. Burns. I believe you have a package for me. So, I mean, Homer does think he's Mr. Burns on a few occasions, I guess.
Yeah.
And so now we go to Herbert's medical clinic. And
I didn't realize he had his own clinic.
Well, we actually discussed this a few episodes back with, I don't know if it was with Jaden or someone else. We talked about, I thought Herbert was always in the hospital. That's where he worked out of. But now it's a few episodes where it does actually look like.
Because we've seen his office, but I'm pretty sure, doctors have their own office at hospitals.
Okay, yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'd have to ask our cousin who works at a hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he has his own office.
Yeah, really weird, yeah. So now we get Hibbert saying that they only need bed rest.
Yeah, we have people protesting for a cure, which, it's funny because I feel like in this day and age, that's not what's happening. Well, it was, and then they came out with the vaccine and people are like, nah, I don't want it.
Yeah, but it is so funny how relatable this day and age, right now, as we stand, how relatable this episode just overall is. I mean, you got the people that want a vaccine to be cured. You want, and it's really funny, yes, with how horrible this, virus is and, vaccine, Hibbert basically says, all you need is bed rest. And for, a flu of any kind, you really, there's the flu vaccine, but if you do get the flu, it is literally bed rest. That's just what it takes to...
For a virus, there's really not, and this is what it's a coronavirus.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot you can do with a virus. It's, if you get sick, guess what? You quarantine yourself, you stay inside, You just don't do anything. You don't
Yep.
exert any energy. Because I've had a bacterial infection twice. That is curable because it's bacteria and you get antibacterial medicine. By the way, never get an antibacterial infection. Those are not fun.
But I like how Herbert's like, I could give you a placebo. What's that? It's just a sugar pill. Well, I'll take some. How do I get these placebos? And then they start wrecking vans. And now the crowd accidentally breaks open a crate of killer bees, which, once again, another fun sort of prediction. Murder hornets.
God, this episode had so much similarity to real life.
This episode, I would say, we could call this episode the epitome of 2020.
Yeah,
like seriously, it's like someone in real life was like, you know what? If we can make an entire year look like a Simpson episode, what episode should we choose?
Apparently, it was this one.
Marge in Chains. Okay, it's got a virus. It's got a politician that's going to escape the city. We got giant murder hornets.
Well, killer bees.
Killer bees. You know, this almost makes me believe that the government put 2020 into effect.
Or time travel.
Or time travel.
Somebody time traveled back to the 90s and be like, hey, and was like, oh, I got a pitch for an episode. How about Marge goes to jail because she's so overworked because all the Simpsons got sick from this virus and also some killer bees escaped. And maybe Quimby leaves because he doesn't want to get sick and... somebody traveled from the year 2020 to write this episode.
Oh, I'd believe it. Conspiracy theories galore. I like it. And so now we get cut to the Flanders house, and Todd is, speaking gibberish because he has the flu, and Rod thinks he's speaking in tongues.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody really because you see videos of people who like say weird things coming out of anesthesia.
Yeah.
But I've never seen people who are sick and just going blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because that's what it sounded like.
Yep. And so Maude asks why this is happening, and Ned remembers that he watched Married with Children
and laughed.
Yep. It's I do like how Ned's like, oh, the network slogan is true. Watch Fox and be damned for all eternity.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Married with Children was also a Fox show at the time. Yep. So, it's really funny that the Simpsons take quite a few shots at Fox. And I know Futurama did it too. I don't know if Groening had something against Fox.
Well, it's funny. It's funny if you look at it. So they were on Fox, so taking shots at Fox is pretty funny. But look at how many shots at Disney they took, too, in these earlier seasons.
Yeah, but they weren't owned by Disney.
But no, at that point they weren't. So it is kind of funny.
Because, I know Futurama did it as well, and they did it a lot more after, their first episode back after hiatus in the movies when they were on Comedy Central, they took many pot shots at Fox.
Yep.
That's a great watch Fox and be damned for. I mean, the Cubs won the World Series,
And so now we come back to the Simpsons house, and we get Bart. Can you give me some of those Flintstones chewable morphine? Which is reference to Flintstones vitamins, kids, which actually do still exist. And
what?
They do still exist. And I was thinking about getting my kids some, but Shay wanted these all natural vitamins, because blah.
Vitamins are vitamins.
I know, that's what I said.
What?
Yeah. But I like how, Marge is basically being work to the point of a nervous breakdown. And this is very similar to when, she had to go to Rancho Relaxo.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where she just got overworked. Being a Simpson, in a Simpson household, you're going to go completely crazy.
Yeah.
And really what threw her over the edge was, Abe wants bourbon, but isn't allowed to have it because it's after 3 p.m.
Is Abe Simpson a gremlin?
No, but I think, don't old folks have dinner at 5 and are in bed by 8 like a little kid. So he doesn't want to get him drunk by, in the middle of the afternoon.
But when getting Abe drunk, get him to go to sleep easier?
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, I guess. But yeah, so it's funny. So now Marge, goes to the Quickie Mart. and buys everything that all the kids want, and
and Homer.
And Homer. And I like how she goes up to the counter and she's like, "Oh, can I get some aspirin?" It's like $24.99. Well, I only lowered the price because escaped mental patient tampered with the bottle.
So this might be a reference to so in 1982, I believe it was Chicago, Illinois, there were people going around tampering with Tylenol bottles, putting poison in them, and because of this, the FDA regulated that there needs to be a seal, and that's why there's also the cotton in the bottle so that the pills can't get tampered with. So like the only way that the pills can get tampered with is if you open up the foil. So, so if you ever buy Tylenol or aspirin or any of that kind of stuff, when you get home, if that seal is broken, throw the pills away, throw them away.
Yeah.
So that's a nice callback. I like that reference because I've heard that story multiple times, and I actually had to look it up because I couldn't remember the year. So I do like also the fact that when Marge is buying stuff, all the products turn into Simpson faces because she's having a nervous breakdown. Yep. And so Marge pays for all of her things and she's about to leave and the alarms are set off because she forgot about the bottle of bourbon. And, I love how like Apu's like, "Oh, just wait right there. Can you go a little to the right?" And she moves over and there's like one of those yardstick things that you see in a lot of like stores and gas stations. It's for when people like rob a store. And according to his measurements, Marge is 8.5 feet tall with her hair.
Yep.
So how tall is her hair? It looked like maybe it was 2 feet. So is Marge like 6 feet tall?
I don't think, well, maybe Homer's that tall. Well, Homer's 6'2". So yeah, okay. Marge probably has to be about that tall. Yeah. But okay, so maybe because Wisconsin sells hard liquor in their gas stations. Yes. Not like Minnesota where we're normal. But
no, that's abnormal.
Sure. But isn't hard liquor usually behind the counter at convenience stores?
So some are. I know, like at Target. I assume your Target sell alcohol.
Just crappy beer.
Okay, so I know especially in like Target, they have them on the shelves, but they do have like the little magnet thing so you can't, steal it. Yeah. But at like a lot of gas stations, they are locked away, not behind the counter. They're on shelves.
But still locked.
You have to get somebody to grab it for you, and then they grab it and ring it up. Like they don't hand it to you.
Yeah, so it's almost like I guess Apu's a little bit more trusting of his customers, I guess.
Yeah, like I know at grocery stores they do have the hard liquor out. I don't think it's protected by like magnets, so like you could go into like the liquor section at a grocery store and grab a small bottle and put it in your pocket, but you're probably gonna get caught anyways because security is usually watching the liquor store. Let's be honest.
But but I like Apu. Mrs. Simpson, you did not pay for this bottle of Colonel Quickie Mart's Kentucky bourbon. Colonel Quickie Mart.
Yep.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know there was a Colonel Quickie Mart.
So this is kind of my other problem with this scene is that, okay, she forgot about it.
Yeah.
I feel like in some places, like when I worked at Target and I noticed like somebody had something in the bottom of their cart, I was like, "Oh, hey, you have that." And they'd be like, "Oh, I don't want this." Because maybe they were trying to take it or maybe they didn't realize it was down there. So, like, I feel like if you tried to leave a store without paying for something and got caught, most likely, I would assume you're trying to steal it. But, like, okay, maybe you forgot that you had put something in your pocket and you knew you were going to pay for it. You just forgot. And I feel like Apu should have given Marge the chance to just, pay for it.
Yeah. But
instead of like, nope, you're getting arrested.
Because Chief Wiggum's outside. He's like, "All right, come out with your hands up. 2 cups of coffee, an auto freshener that says Capricorn, and something with coconut on it."
I love the fact too that like Apu's like, "Yeah, we prosecute shoplifters to the fullest extent of the law." Which, I don't know. I feel like you give the person a chance to pay for it and, ban them from your store. like, obviously you've worked at Target. I don't know if you've ever talked, when you worked at Target, if you ever talked to like the security guys that work there, like that were employed through Target. But like, I remember talking to our security guy, and like, there was a night I worked and I found a bunch of stolen, I found a bunch of stolen objects. And usually if you get caught on camera stealing shit, you normally don't go back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they go to the mall, and Marge has hired Lionel Hutz to represent her, and because she did that, she gets a smoking monkey.
Is he the only lawyer in town? I mean, really?
The only lawyer they can afford.
Apparently. Look at him. He's taking another puff.
Yeah. And so...
I love the smoking monkey. Yeah. And he just has a drawer full of them. And he opens it up to put the monkey back. He says, puff, puff, puff. You just see all the monkeys.
Yeah, and so Lionel's like, oh, they're going over their case. He's like, oh, well, we got Judge Snyder. And Marge's like, is that bad? Well, he's kind of had it out for me ever since I ran over his dog. But replace the word kinda with repeatedly and dog with son. Now, I want to go back. I want to take you through a journey back in time 5 episodes ago where Homer was in jail because he was arrested for drunk driving in the episode Duffless, and Lionel Hutz was in jail with Homer.
Yeah. But so why would... Okay, so either Lionel Hutz got a better attorney than him to get him off the hook for running over his son repeatedly?
Or he didn't kill his son, and he lived, and he didn't have to serve that much time.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think that's what they were alluding to, which, again, Simpsons continuity, it's crazy. When we started this, I was like, they're not good at continuity. We get continuity.
Yep.
Who knew? And so, Homer so we go back to the Quickie Mart, and Apu and Sanjay are like, I'm assuming they were celebrating Marge getting arrested, and Homer goes in.
That'd be the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, and so Homer goes in, and he asks Apu not to charge Marge, and so I wanted to look this up to see what like shoplifting was, and I only looked in Wisconsin because that's where I live, and so the severity of retail theft charges depends on the value of the merchandise that was taken. So, for example, here in Wisconsin, if merchandise does not exceed $2,500 in value, it is a Class A misdemeanor, which can result in up to 9 months in prison and up to $10,000 in fines. So it depends on like the lawyer you get, the judge you get, how many offenses you have as well. So I want people to keep this in mind as we go to Marge's sentencing, because again, misdemeanor, and you're going to go to prison. You're not going to go to jail. Prison and jail are 2 different things.
Yeah, but Homer's like, Apu, I like you to drop the charges against my wife. No offense, Mr. Homer, but we're putting that bitch on ice. Now, come on. I'm your best customer. I'm sorry, Mr. Homer, but it is the policy of Quickie Mart and its parent company, Nordyne Defense Dynamics, to prosecute shoplifters to the full extent of the law. Apparently, I didn't know the Quickie Mart was a parent company of a Defense Dynamics corporation.
Yeah. No. The parent company is the Defense Corporation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so now we cut to Wiggum in a sauna with Quimby. And, like, the weird thing is, Quimby would probably know, because, like, this is a small town. I'm assuming everybody at this point would know that a Marge was arrested for shoplifting. But, like, Wiggum tells Quimby, like, it's some big secret. Yeah. And it's like, this is a small town. I'm pretty sure Apu would have told a bunch of people. Like, the word would have just traveled.
I mean, the Simpsons do run Springfield, so, I mean.
Yeah. And then, so Wiggum tells Quimby, and then we get to Hibbert, Reverend Lovejoy, Helen Lovejoy, and Miss Hoover having like a card game night.
What's Miss Hoover doing there?
I don't know. Like, and so like they're talking about Marge getting her shoplifting charge, and Hibbert's like, well, Marge has webbed toes.
You're not supposed to divulge that information.
That is true. Well, here's the other thing. People might probably already know that because, I'm sure they go to the beach or like the pool, and I'm sure Marge doesn't wear shoes, but like, I love how like that, like, well, she's not going to do the bake sale this year, and that was a big point too.
Yeah.
And so Ned tells Marge not to worry. They all have brushes with the law.
Oh my god!
And Ned has a flashback of the time where a police officer knocks on his door. He's like, "Are you Ed Flanders?" No, I'm Ned Flanders with an N. He's like, that mistake will, and then we cut back to present day, and he's wearing a name tag sticker. He's like, that'll never happen again.
Oh my god!
Okay.
That's a brush with the law, man. That's
are you
horrible.
a so and so? No. Okay, bye. And so Marge, because they're having dinner, and Marge is like, "Oh, I gotta go freshen up." So Marge goes up to the bathroom, and Ned like nods at Maude to go follow her. And so Maude watches Marge through a crack in the wall, hidden by a picture. And this is a reference to Alfred Hitchcock's movie Psycho.
Man, we've had a couple Psycho references. I just finished editing Brother from Another Planet, and we had this Psycho reference in that episode too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. They like their Psycho references. I love the so now we cut to the trial, which I don't think you would take a shoplifting case to trial. At this point you would settle. Because obviously there's enough evidence, and Marge admitted she did it.
Yeah. But I like the prosecutor's like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who do you find more attractive, Tom Cruise or Mel Gibson? And the judge is like, what's the point of this? Your Honor, I feel so confident of Marge Simpson's guilt that I can waste the court's time by rating super hunks.
Neither. They're both ugly, because one is a Scientologist and one is an anti-Semitic jerkbag.
That doesn't make them ugly.
Yes, it does.
Maybe on the inside, but on the outside, they are super hunks. Well, maybe not Mel Gibson anymore, man.
No,
dude's got like a beard and a gut, and he looks like a homeless dude now.
And so, yeah, again, there's not really a need for this trial. And so then we cut to Professor Frink, who's like, if we see behind the hedges here, you see some blue hair in the grassy knoll, and this is a reference to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And I am assuming here that Frink is insinuating that Marge shot JFK.
She would have been not born yet?
1968? No. When was JFK assassinated?
The 60s?
Well, it was the 60s, JFK.
But yeah, I don't think Marge was necessarily alive. If she was, she would have been like 3, 4, 5 years old or something.
I don't think she 1963. So she is like 34. So she would have been like 4 years old.
Yeah, I don't think that was her.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
I think the whole point was to make fun of the conspiracy theories around it.
Yep. And so and now we get, Hutz, trying to talk to Apu. He's like, now Apu, Mrs. Simpson claims she forgot.
So Hutz, is having a fit.
I know, I'm reading the quote from it. So chill out. So now Apu, Mrs. Simpson claims she forgot she was carrying that bottle of delicious bourbon. Brownest of all the brown liquors.
That's right. Yeah.
So tempting.
That's right.
What's that? You want me to drink you? But I'm in the middle of a trial. And so he is like, I'll be right back. And he calls, his sponsor, David Crosby from Crosby, Still and Nash.
Also, your little quote there left out the best part of that quote, which I still use to this day. He goes, Lionel Hutz is like, Mr. Nahasapita Petalon, if that is your real name.
Yes.
I love that quote. I use it every day. Every day. It is my favorite quote of all Simpsons time.
Yeah, but he's like, I love this. So he's like, have you forgotten anything? No. In fact, I can recite pi to the 40,000th places. The last digit is 1. And Homer's like, pi.
I mean, Homer's not wrong. I mean, he is, but he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Hutz, asks Pooh, he's like trying to test him about once again forgetting things. He's like, well, if you remember, what color tie am I wearing? Red and white striped. And And so he tried to actually take his tie. See, if I was him, I would have like turned it around and shoved it down the back of my jacket. But somehow he, after 5 minutes, probably got to take it off. He's like, see, I'm not even wearing a tie.
I wasn't wearing a tie at all.
Oh, well, if I was wrong about that, maybe I was wrong about Mrs. Homer. So yeah, I just, oh my God. Hutz is so dumb. And apparently Apu's dumb enough to believe that he didn't spend the last 30 seconds trying to remove his tie.
I feel like the judge would have also stopped that.
Yeah.
Because you could clear, like the jury could clearly see Hutz is fidgeting with his tie.
Yep.
Everybody can see it.
Well, especially the audience. He was literally facing the people in the audience. But yeah, so now Bart, Bart's talking with Hutz about, wanting to grow up and be a lawyer because, he's infatuated with Lionel Hutz's tactics and lying and corruptibility. Yeah. And he's like, the world could always use more lawyers. And then he imagines a world without lawyers, and it's a bunch of people holding hands in harmony. Yeah.
I hate lawyers. Well, I hate some lawyers. We have 2 lawyers in our family. I don't hate them.
Yeah. Lawyers are okay.
Some lawyers are okay.
Some lawyers are. It depends on what they're doing. Depends on what they're doing. But now, Hutz is doing his closing arguments, and apparently he's not wearing any pants or underwear.
How do you get that far without the judge saying, how do you even enter the courtroom without pants? How do you get in that building?
I get dressed like everyone else. I put my pants on one leg and I forgot my pants.
How do you they even allow, like, how do you even get like close to the building without pants on?
I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, so I don't know. But then Hutz goes up to the judge like, I like to call a bad trial thingy.
You mean a mistrial?
Oh, that's so funny. And so there's like, bailiff, give me the verdict. And I like how Hutz hands him like a napkin. It's like, this is a plea of not guilty. It's poorly written. No. Guilty's misspelled, and it's on a napkin. And can I get the real bailiff? Give me the real card.
No, he does. He asked the foreman to read the real verdict.
Yep. So Marge is found guilty and sentenced to 30 days in prison.
So again, even if she was sentenced, she would just go to like a city or county, not state or federal.
Yep.
Because the jail is in the city or the county. The prison is a state or federal thing. So she would not go to a state or federal, because this doesn't fall under state or federal. This is city. So, and even so, she would probably just be fine. She wouldn't even go to jail because this is her first offense. Yeah. And it was for a bottle of bourbon that was, now granted, this is the Quickie Mart, so it's probably marked up to like $100. But no, she, again, the point is to move the plot along. I get it, but not realistic.
Yep. And so next up, after the Lionel Hutz debacle, is the National Council of Churches versus Lionel Hutz.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I like how at the end Bart tells Marge that he will bust her out of prison once he gets a cocktail dress and a crowbar, and then we get a fantasy sequence of Bart dancing with the warden, and, in a cocktail dress, and he whacks him with a crowbar and steals the keys.
Yeah, Bartina,
yeah. Now that'd be a fun Funko Pop. I would buy the Bartina Funko Pop.
I would too.
And so Homer tells Marge that he'll miss her, and not just because of the sex, because of the food preparations as well. Plus getting rid of stains and the way she makes him feel lucky to be with her. I mean, that's nice.
But mostly because of the sex.
Yep. And so I like how Apu now thinks his store is secure with Marge behind bars, because obviously she's the only person in Springfield that's ever tried to rob him.
Yeah.
And so then we cut to Snake stealing the Quickie Mart, the whole Quickie Mart, mind you, on a flatbed.
How did he get that on a flatbed?
I don't know. But he drives, to leave the city. He's like, well, we're taking this thing to Mexico.
So there is a sign, because when you ride the highway, it shows you like all the cities and distances. So you get Shelbyville, which is 47 miles away. You get North Haverbrook, which is 53 miles away. And you get Mexico City, which is a real city. They should have used a fake city because people like me are going to look things up. And Mexico City is 678 miles away from Springfield. And I looked up. I went to Google Maps and I started typing things like directions to Mexico City from certain cities. The closest U.S. city that is roughly 678 miles away is Laredo, Texas. Right. So Springfield in Texas.
Ooh, that's a new take we haven't done. And I'm sure they have a few gorges and
Did you just call them gorges? Oh yeah, it is a gorge.
Yeah, thank
Springfield. You. I was thinking gouge. I was thinking the word gouge, and I'm like,
Springfield gouge. I don't think that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. So
I don't know why he's taking the taking it to Texas. Maybe I guess I could use it.
No, he's in. Texas. They're in Texas.
Oh no, to Mexico.
To Mexico, yeah, because he doesn't want to go to jail.
How's he getting that? I don't know how he's going to expect to get that thing across the border.
I'm sure he could find a way.
Right. So then we head to the Springfield Women's Prison, which those are a real thing. And the motto for Springfield's prison is a prison for women. But I like how it's all nice cursive handwriting, and that's pretty cool. And so Marge goes to her cell. Knock, knock. I'm Marge Simpson, your new cellmate. I'm Phillips. They call me that because I killed my husband with a Phillips head screwdriver.
Yeah. That woman should probably be there. That's probably a good place for that woman to be.
Yep. And so I like now this is why I think Marge had a good time in prison. She got to have dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever. And she's like, oh, it's so nice not to have to cook. And I like her cellmate is like, your husband never cooked for you? Well, he did. Once. Homer, I don't think this fish is quite dead yet.
Yeah, they cut back to the one time Homer cooked for her, and there's a fish on her plate, and it just flops around, and he's fighting with the lobsters.
Yeah, he's like, I think I'm still having trouble with these lobsters.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think we know Homer is not a cook.
No, not at all.
Because if he does cook, there's going to be a lot of butter in it.
Yeah.
So now we get tattoo Annie, and she's got a tattoo on her back of Alfred E. Newman. And the tattoo is a reference to Mad Magazine and the Fold-ins, and the phrase, what kind of slime would I marry? And Marge's like, I don't know. And like, she folds her back.
But that's like a double, like I've seen actual double jointed people actually be able to connect their shoulder bones together.
Yeah. And
so that's a real thing. It's like, if you guys are wondering if that's actually physically possible, it is actually physically possible. I've seen someone do it.
And
it is gross.
And so the folded and when it folds in, it reads, what, me worry, which is Alfred E. Newman's trademark phrase. So they got a Mad. I mean, Mad was on Fox for like, what, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years?
Something like that.
Yeah. And so now we cut back to Homer and the kids, and Homer's like, I don't want to do dishes. So eat, just eat with your hands. And Lisa's like, well, what about Maggie? She'll roam the backyard free. Like, no diapers. And Lisa's like, look, if we just do our fair share, I'm sure we can keep the house clean. And then we get a little 10 minutes later thing. And these are the things that I noticed that was wrong with the kitchen that was destroyed. The curtains over the sink are like tattered and like half off. And torn down. The kitchen sink is broken. The oven is on fire. The refrigerator door is off its hinges. The ceiling fan falls right next to Santa's little helper. The freezer portion of the fridge is tagged with Alberto, and there's also a live alligator roaming the kitchen. Where did the alligator come from in 10 minutes?
He roams around outside. From the nuclear power plant. There's lots of creatures that live there.
Oh my god. Like, they destroyed this house.
Yep.
Destroyed it. And so then, Bart and Lisa yell up to Homer, and they're like, we're running out of clean clothes. And Lisa's like, yeah, it seems like I've been wearing the same red dress forever. Which obviously is a meta joke of The Simpsons, because that's what she usually wears. And so I love how Homer's like, oh, kids, there's a bunch of clothes in the attic. Just grab those. And he comes out wearing Marge's wedding dress.
Homer, you can't even do laundry. But then again, okay, so this kind of looks back at our life. When our mom leaves town, our dad can't cook, can't do laundry. barely cleans. I feel like we did most of the work when our mom left town.
To be fair, when Mom was in town, I did a lot of cleaning too. It's not that when our mom goes out of town, our dad doesn't do any cleaning. Although I will say, when I went down for the Brewers games, he did clean the kitchen.
Oh wow, that's new.
I was shocked. But he does laundry occasionally. It's not that he can't. It's not that he won't do it. It's just that he's lazy. Like, he doesn't cook for himself. Now granted, he can still survive because he just eats out, which is not the healthiest thing. He can cook eggs, which, I mean, I guess are healthy in, moderation. He can make popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn's good.
Yeah, so, but yeah, like our mom, anytime I go home, all I hear is, I am like his mother. And I'm like, he's 74 years old. Stick him in assisted living home.
There you
probably
go.
Like it there. He'd probably enjoy it there.
Yep.
And so now
they're at school.
Now we're at school, and Bart and
Millhouse
are eating lunch, and Nelson, comes over.
Well, you forgot. What did Bart have for lunch?
Peanut butter on a playing card.
Yeah, peanut butter on a playing card. That's a good lunch.
It's a great lunch. Sure. I mean, the peanut butter might be good. So Nelson comes over and laughs at Bart for Marge being in jail, and Bart's like, for his mom being a jailbird. He's like, your mom's in jail too. And Nelson's like, oh yeah, you want to go play? And they just leave Millhouse there.
Yep.
And so now we go back to the prison, and it's prison visiting day. And I love how, Marge hugs the kids, and Marge's like, Homer, did you come in a costume? He's like, no. But he's wearing a devil outfit, which is similar to the one in the last episode with Evil Homer.
With Whacking Day. That's right, because he is Evil Homer. I am Evil Homer.
Yes, because he didn't do laundry. And so Bart tells Marge they tried to flush the alligator down the toilet, which she doesn't even question, which she probably wasn't even shocked.
She's like, yeah, that alligator.
And so we cut back to the Simpsons household, and it is indeed halfway stuck down. I don't even know how I got halfway down. And Grandpa is trying to, he's got a plunger, and he's like fighting it, and he's like, you'll not get the best of Abe Simpson, and his dentures fall out of his mouth because the stickiness does not work, and it falls into the gator's mouth, and the gator just chomps him.
Oh, that was awesome.
And so, yeah, that was great. And so now we go to the conjugal visit trailers. Don't come a knocking if this van's a rockin'. And that was a bumper sticker on one of the trailers.
It was, yep.
And so Homer is like, well, Marge, we can just sit here and talk or cuddle or hold hands. And Marge is like, nope, we're doing the thing now.
Well, 30 days is a long time. I mean, okay.
We don't know how long she's been in there. Probably 2 weeks at this point. And I love how, when she jumps... Now, the funny thing is she jumped on Homer, and the whole trailer falls, over.
Well, okay, so the force of Marge hitting Homer and Homer's weight going... Well, I guess I don't know if that would work, but Homer falling down made the trailer fall over.
I do not know.
All right, so now we get to Beautify Our Parks Bake Sale, which... Do they really... I mean, I guess there's Springfield National Park, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like how they all show up and no one buys anything because they were literally all there for Marge's marshmallow squares.
Dude, I wonder if there's a recipe out there.
Now, probably in that book. We got to get that book. We should get that book. But I wonder if they're just Rice Krispie squares, like marshmallows, Rice Krispie. I wonder if that's what they are.
Maybe.
But unfortunately, they were $15 short of buying the Lincoln statue. So now they have to settle for the Jimmy Carter statue.
Yeah, because Marge... Well, it's funny, because, nobody was buying from, Helen
And that's
Lovejoy.
the $15 that would have saved if Marge hasn't been in prison.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they unveiled the Jimmy Carter statue, and the town folks... absolutely hate it. And so now there's a riot in the town.
And they use the statue.
Yeah, they use the statue to break down a window.
Oh my god.
I mean, everyone hates Jimmy Carter. I just love how Marge is in prison and the town falls apart. Like, Marge is apparently the glue that holds Springfield together.
No. People hate Jimmy Carter as a president. Jimmy Carter, the human being, is a wonderful person who does a lot of charity work.
Yeah.
And builds. He is over 90 years old and he still builds houses for Habitat for Humanity. Give that man a gold medal.
There you go. And so now they're gonna, try to break up the riot, and Lou asks, "Oh, you gonna release the dogs?" It's like, "Yeah, but sir, they look so riled up." "Yeah, I have been starving them, poking him with a stick, and what was it? Humming or singing?
Singing out of key.
Singing out of key." And so they release the dogs, and the dogs immediately attack Wiggum. This is really awesome. And so, Maude feels that the riot would never have happened if Marge, was still around.
Well, maybe if you guys didn't prosecute her to the full extent of the law, she still would have been.
Yep. Yeah. So, now Marge is, ready to get out of prison, and she tells her cellmate that she hopes she'd find someone. And her cellmate is like, men are all slime, but this new guy is different. And we flash over to Barney holding, he's like, "Hello." And she's like, "Oh, that guy says his name is Homer, and he works for a nuclear power plant."
Oh boy, Barney.
Oh, Barney, your normal tactics don't work. And Homer's obviously he nabbed Marge, so Barney thinks that he could do it. And so now we get to Bart and Lisa. It's like, "Oh, we gotta clean up this house."
It's a literal trash dump.
Yup. And Bart's like, "Wow, let's just sweep it all under the rug." And by rug, he means the carpeting?
Yeah, he literally sweeps all the trash underneath the carpeting in the house.
How did they get it under there? Do they rip up the carpet just to...
I guess so.
And move the piano, move all the furniture.
and so they do it, and it's all wavy, and you gotta step around. They step under somebody who's under the carpet.
Yeah, there's a guy, and I can't remember his name now or where he was from. I just honestly can't remember. But I was like, "Hey, watch it."
Yeah.
Apparently he was just roaming around in their house too.
Yeah.
And so Marge leaves prison, and the whole town is there to welcome Marge home because obviously they missed her. Yeah. And so I do like Helen Lovejoy. She's like, "From now on, I'll use my gossip for good instead of evil." Yeah, probably Helen Lovejoy.
Yeah.
And so, they're like, "Oh, we want to give you this." And they unveiled the statue of Jimmy Carter, but instead it now has a Marge wig of hair on it.
Yeah. That's kind of funny.
And they changed the plaque. So the plaque actually stated Malice Forever.
Malaise.
Oh, sorry, I can't read.
Clearly.
Malaise Forever, and they changed it to Marge Forever.
Which is, for those who don't know, Malaise Forever is a reference to a Jimmy Carter speech. That's all I'll say about it.
Cool. And so now a couple days must have gone by, and they just decided to turn the statue into a tetherball pole, which, hey, good idea. I mean, it's a good idea. But I like how the last hit, spins the ball completely, all the way wrapped up and whacks Carter in the face. That's how the ball winds up. That was pretty good. I think that was a pretty good finish. So,
well, have you never played tetherball?
Oh, I love tetherball. Tetherball is my favorite. Played that at camp all the time and on the schoolyard. Dude, I love fucking tetherball. Tetherball's awesome. But yeah, so this episode, it's good. Good second to last episode. I'm gonna go 4 sprinkles. The only reason that I love the flu bit. I like how we got from Troy McClure to the pandemic to the March stuff. I mean, that was almost, I would have to say, 15 minutes of the episode, of the 22-minute episode. 15 minutes of it was the
By the way, I feel like everybody recovered from that flu pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, maybe everyone got it really fast. I don't know. Yeah. But, or just died away, Yeah. But, and it didn't expand to Shelbyville or any of the other cities. No. Nope. So, but I think the jokes were definitely there. I love what Homer basically Homer living on his own. Like, you kind of got a good look at Homer
this
trying
isn't,
to... It's not the first time. Yeah, it's not the first time that Homer's tried to run the household without Marge around. And he just did as well as when she went to Rancho Relaxo.
Yeah.
But really funny. I mean, you do get the whole kind of off-key trial and everything, but that's just the Simpsons being funny and trying to do their thing with Lionel Hutz. And bringing Lionel Hutz back is always very, very funny. Just the jokes in it were great. The Lisa's whole dress thing. It's like, I've been wearing this forever. I mean, that's always good. Anything, with the Quickie Mart and that stuff was good. I mean, 4, I'm not going to go 5. This just doesn't have that I want to watch it all the time type episode. No. And in all reality, this is probably the first time I've watched this episode in probably 20 years. Like, this is definitely not an episode that I have seen or have gone out to actually look for. But after the rewatch of it, I mean, it was really good. I had a good time watching it. Just quoting it was just hilarious because there were some certain things in it that just triggered in my mind that I'm like, oh, I remember these things. So I'm gonna go 4 sprinkles.
Yeah, this is a really solid Simpsons episode. Obviously, the realism of like the flu and the trial and Marge getting arrested, whatever. It's funny. The jokes, as you said, are on point. I like, I don't know, for some reason I really like the end where Barney is picking up a prison chick and lied about who he was. And that was really funny. And, Marge is, Marge is the glue that holds the Simpsons together. So it would only make sense that she might be the glue that holds Springfield together.
I mean, she really is. That town went bad fast without Marge around.
So it's a solid episode. Again, like you, I don't think I've seen this episode in a really long time. I would say maybe I saw it in college. Because I did do a lot of Simpson watching in college, and I watched Simpsons almost every Saturday or every Sunday in college. But I'm gonna give it a 4 sprinkles. It is a solid episode. If it's on, I will watch this episode because of all the references to 2020.
Yeah.
Or maybe I wouldn't want to watch it because it does reference 2020 too much, and I want to forget about the year 2020. That ruined a lot of people's lives. It makes me angry to think about, but it's really good. They did a fantastic job. You got a lot of I guess quote unquote future predictions. But 4.
I think this episode just predicted 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick out a few things here and there, but I feel like this episode just predicted 2020 altogether.
Was there ever a story about a lawyer who went to trial without pants?
Maybe. Maybe.
No, because
probably. Okay, so look at
Zoom calls.
Zoom calls. Yes, I bet you a lawyer that when they did those Zoom calls to trials, I guarantee you most of those lawyers were not wearing pants during those Zoom calls.
Yeah. So
all right. Look at that. This is just amazing. So one other thing I would like to point out, and maybe this is just kind of past the point, but the whole Marge in chains, I feel like because we didn't spend this entire episode with Marge in jail, I feel like the title could have been a little bit different. Like, I mean, I get where it wound up, but I don't know. Seems kind of an odd title now that I think about it.
Marge holds Springfield together. Maybe that should have been the title.
Yep. All right, so let's finish it off with our character profile. And this week we got the prison inmate, Tattoo Annie.
Yep.
She doesn't get a lot of love, so we gotta give her some love here on The Simpsons. Did it? So her identity: tattoo-toting inmate.
Yep.
Lots of tattoos. Chief identifying feature: Mad Magazine fold-in tattoo on her back.
Yep.
Yeah. Her skin. Colorful.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Personality intense.
Ooh, it's weird because like she did seem intense, but like then she did the whole tattoo thing and it like just made all that intensity go away.
Yeah. Says very little, letting your tattoos do talking for her.
Yep. There's a lot of people who are like that.
Yeah. Just don't talk to me. Talk to my tattoos. They'll talk back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's close it out where you guys can find us. Head over to Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast, and be sure to tag us through at The Simpsons Did It Pod. Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod. Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. And then head over to YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, The Simpsons Did It Podcast. Just search it. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment on anything you want, and we'll be sure to bring it up here on the show. If you'd like to donate, head over to buymeacoffee.com/SimpsonsDidIt. All your donations will go to fun merch, buying new stickers, and hopefully coming up with new merch in the future. And lastly, make sure you dial a phone number. Pick up your cell phone. Pick up your rotary phone. Pick up your Flintstones Go phone, like Bart did in kindergarten, or when he got held back to kindergarten. Just dial 612-584-0986 and leave us a fun message, whether it's about an episode, fun facts, stuff we might have missed on and you want to correct us. Just give us all your fun feedback and let us know how we did. And the other thing we want to do is we're going to be going on a small hiatus, and we would like your input on season 5 episodes 5 to 10. Just look through those if you want us to talk about anything, bring anything up, fun quotes, fun facts, anything that you want to add to the podcast. Be sure to leave us a voicemail based on episodes 5 through 10 of season 5, and we'll make sure to include those in all of our episodes.
By the way, when Steve says hiatus, he means from recording. We are still going to drop new episodes every week.
Sorry. Yes, we do take breaks from recording to, build up our next round of episodes that we are going to reporting, find guests, watch them, stuff like that. So that's the break that we take. And that's why we're giving you guys this opportunity when you hear this episode to give us what you guys want to talk about for those specific episodes, and we'll keep doing that. I'm basically writing down which seasons and episodes we want to hear from you on, and we'll put those in those episodes. Yep. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
And I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.